Hi, everybody. It's Michael Oliveres from jurisq.com, a legal network with commonly asked legal questions answered by our professionals. And today with us, we have our professional, Yakov Spektor, an immigration attorney, who's always happy to answer our questions. Yakov, welcome back to our show.
Hi, Michael. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Let's talk about benefits. Government and other benefits that you can get if you are just an undocumented immigrant. You don't have your green card yet. You definitely don't have your citizenship. What do you qualify for on a state level and or on a federal level?
This question probably pops up during every consultation that I give.
Of course.
And the reason for that is, it's quite natural. Someone comes here, people start their lives all over. They might not be able to make a living. Sometimes they're not even eligible for a work permit. Sometimes they're here without any status whatsoever. They're not even they're not able to really. They don't know the language. They're not able to get the kind of jobs that people who've been living here for many years can get, and that's quite normal. People start their lives from step one. Okay, so any help that they can get is very much appreciated. But that's so. Now let me tell you this: this is not really a question for an immigration lawyer, because most of the benefits that someone might be eligible for, such as food stamps, for example, or let's say any sort of cash payments such as welfare, or and that's a big one, Medicaid. People want to be insured. That comes from the states. Okay, and states, even though there are, a lot of their rules are very similar. It could be different enough that let's say if you live across the river from New York and New Jersey, and you're a green card holder, you might not be eligible for Medicaid. Well, if you live in New York, you are.
So it's very state specific.
It's very state specific. New Jersey makes you wait for 5 years after you get your green card, and before they would give you Medicaid. New York does not. So one thing that I can tell you, if you are undocumented, or even if you have a green card, okay, first of all, find out with your state what benefits you might be eligible for. You might be surprised, even if you're undocumented, let's say, but you came here as a refugee. There are pretty robust programs on the state level that refugees might be eligible for. Ukrainians who come here through the United for Ukraine program are eligible for benefits, even though some other categories of immigrants might not be able.
So every group is different. It's always good to ask an attorney your particular situation. What do you qualify for? Exactly.
Or ask your state representative. New York has a very easy to remember 311 information number that you could dial and just simply tell them what you need, and they'll help you out. Now, one thing that is going to be super important, because what happened with our previous administration, Trump administration tried to make you receiving government benefits conditional upon you getting legal status. So basically they were saying, hey, you know what? If you're getting government benefits, that means you cannot support yourself on your own. Maybe we shouldn't be giving you a green card, because you will become a public charge. We don't need people like you here. Even though on the Statue of Liberty itself, it says that give me your poor, give me your infirm. Immigrants are not, immigrants who just come here, they're not in the best position in their lives to really.
That's why they come.
They need a little bit of assistance to start, but then we are a country of immigrants. The assistance that we will give to those in need who just come to our shores is going to pay itself forward probably manyfold. You might be a Republican, or you might be a Democrat. You might have different attitudes towards immigrants, but if someone is already here, okay, help that person. Don't kick him, okay. And our previous administration tried to make it pretty difficult. And a lot of people were scared away from actually getting the benefits that they were entitled to. Elderly immigrants were afraid to get medical insurance that they
Wow.
would have otherwise been eligible for, because they were afraid, because the Trump administration made it so made it so difficult for people to get the correct information that there were tens of thousands of immigrants who simply were not getting the health care that they needed because erroneously they believed that that would hurt them or their loved ones with their immigration.
And by the way, that's not good for them, and it's not good for the country, because you want these people to be obviously checked for any kind of viruses, and viruses to be treated not only for their own sake, which is a humane thing to do, but also for the sake of the society.
For the sake of the public health, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, now, so what we had to do, we had to pretty much have a public re-education campaign where we were telling people that in fact you will be completely fine applying for the government benefits. You know, even though sometimes like senior citizens are usually a hardy stock. They might not. You know, even if you tell them, and even if it's someone like me who've been doing it for a living for the past almost 20 years, you know, they might still be wary of applying, which is not necessarily a bad quality. Hey, check and double check whatever I tell you. But here is a very simple rule for you. Okay, there is lots of different kinds of listeners that listen to you, Michael. Okay, some of you might be undocumented, some of you might have your green card, some of you might be in all sorts of different situations, and I'll give you a very easy kind of way how you might determine whether it's something that you can apply for or not. And here's that rule. Don't lie on the government applications. When you're applying for Medicaid, for example, and it asks you, what's your immigration status? Okay, if you're not a citizen of the United States, don't tell them that you're a citizen of the United States, even though there might be some people who are getting some really bad advice. And let's say, you know, they're filling out these applications and people would tell them, just say that you're a US citizen, or just say that you're a green card holder. You'll be enrolled in this program. You'll get medical insurance, you'll get food stamps. You know, there's nothing that will really hurt you, you know, if you just do this little white lie. Don't do that. Okay?
No, especially, lies, they can also hurt you criminally, because lying, if you're lying on a federal form, that's a crime in of itself.
Absolutely.
You get charged, and then if you get charged with previous videos, if you get charged with a felony or even a misdemeanor, sometimes you could lose your right to get your citizenship.
Absolutely. But if you do not, let's say, as I said, you live in New Jersey and you're a green card holder, and you're not eligible for that Medicaid. You know, as long as you disclose all that information on those forms, you do not get the Medicaid, but you did not lie to the government. You are not going to be worse off. So as long as you disclose all your information truthfully, any government benefits that you will be eligible for, that the government will give you, you can use it safely in most instances.
And also, you brought up a very good point that sometimes people are afraid to get treatments or even report a crime because they're afraid they're going to get deported. We talked about it before, that some states are sanctuary states, and I believe New York State or New York City is a sanctuary. New York City is a sanctuary city. So
sanctuary city.
In New York, correct me if I'm wrong, if you go to local authorities and they find out you are in fact undocumented, they have no right, and they don't report you to immigration services. Correct?
That's correct. They will not, and that's a public health issue. You know, if you have a whole group of people who is afraid to go to the police to report a crime, that means that the crime is going to thrive in that area, because criminals will know that people are going to be afraid to report them, and it happens a lot in the communities that are predominantly comprised of undocumented immigrants.
Right.
Because unfortunately, for one reason or another, they're afraid to go to the police because they might think that actually the police will check their immigration status, try to deport them. And in some places, in some Texan border areas. That's exactly what the government tried to do. They tried to get the local law enforcement to cooperate, to try to kind of do their immigration dirty work for them.
Right.
What the sanctuary city is, essentially, that does not mean that New York City will protect you from deportation if you do something wrong. Okay, but
that's important to understand.
But if you did not do anything wrong and you're undocumented, they're not going to feel obligated reporting your immigration status to the federal authorities.
Yeah,
it's completely safe for you to go to the police. It's completely safe for you to apply for government benefits in New York City, and you should take advantage of that.
Yakov, but let me follow up with this question that actually begging for this question. Once you get those benefits and you apply for your change of status to become a legal resident, can the government use that against you that you received benefits before?
You know, that's a great question, and there is no good answer to it because it's a patchwork of things. Okay, it depends what you're applying for, what category you're applying for, what kind of benefit you were receiving. The only thing that I can tell you is this: if you're applying through your family, most likely getting government benefits is not going to be a problem for you. Right. If you're applying through your employer, maybe talk to someone like me. If you are seeking asylum and you were working here without work permit, because work permits take a long, they take months to receive right now. We should have a video talking about that at some point.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
But and you're working here without authorization, and then you get asylum. That's not going to be a problem for you, even if the government learns that you were working here without a work permit. Getting government benefits is also not going to be a problem for you. So for most of our listeners, getting the government benefits that you are entitled to, that you can get without lying on any applications, is probably okay. Take advantage of the help that the government provides. It's probably not going to be a problem for your future immigration applications, such as getting a green card or getting citizenship. You want to be 100% sure. There's unfortunately, I cannot tell you 100% because I simply don't know your situation. Get on the phone, talk to someone like me, explain your situation, and then you'll know what to do.
Exactly. Yakov, we definitely thank you for providing this very important information, but you should not use this information in vacuum for your case. What you should do is contact an attorney, somebody like Yakov Spektor, lay out all the facts, what government help are you applying for, whether or not it's going to be used against you when you change your status. Every step of your way in your journey in getting a green card and citizenship, you should have an attorney hold your hand, but it's a very difficult process. It is a legal process, so only a true professional, an attorney, a licensed attorney, can help you along the way. That's the advice we're going to give you today. Yakov, thank you so much for your time. Thank you everybody for listening, and we're going to be back shortly with actually, you gave us a taste of what we're going to talk about, and we're going to talk about work permits. Because as we know, right now in New York City, there are a lot of migrants being shipped, being bused here by Texas. What we want to do is we want to talk about new initiative by our mayor, where he promised to get them expedited work permits. We're going to talk about it, whether he can do it, what's the purpose, what are the benefits. See you next time. Thank you.
Stay tuned.
Thank you.